Secretary Tracy's face turned pale, and he said seriously, "Mr. Trainer is not that kind of person. Even if he doesn't like you anymore, he won't have an affair while married." "But I found a ring in his room," I said again. Ding! Wisnovel reminds you to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner to read the complete novel. Secretary Tracy thought for a moment and said, "That's the ring Mr. Trainer bought for you." I frowned. How could he have bought me a ring? Unless he lost his memory. It seemed that even Secretary Tracy didn't know about this. "Honey, what's wrong?" Kevin came out of the house and saw that I didn't look good. I quickly shook my head and said, "Nothing." "That's good. I'm going to work now." He reached out to me. I looked at him puzzled. "Can't I give you a hug or a kiss?" He sounded a bit aggrieved. Secretary Tracy tactfully turned away. I had no choice but to go over and give him a gentle hug. But when I let go, he stumbled. And I quickly supported him, but he forcefully pushed me away. "Don't touch me." His tone was full of annoyance. He pushed me far away, leaving me standing there. He was just like before. Was he going to recover his memory? "Mr. Trainer, are you okay?" Secretary Tracy quickly came over to support him. Kevin shook his head slightly. "I have a severe headache." He was really recovering his memory. He must have remembered what I had done. After a while, Kevin finally recovered. He looked at me with a terrified expression and said nervously, "I'm sorry. I got too emotional just now." "Did you remember something?" I asked. "Just some fragments. For some reason, they were fragments of you being unkind to me." After saying that, he smiled again. "Just fragments, maybe it was a misunderstanding. Don't worry, it will be fine when I remember everything." I breathed a sigh of relief and nodded. I reminded him to be careful on the way before going back to the house. Before entering the house, I heard him solemnly say to Secretary Tracy, "You don't need to come in to pick me up anymore. If Kevin truly loves someone, he will treat her very well. But unfortunately, I am not the one he loves." His memory was slowly recovering, and he would eventually remember everything. By then, my wicked deeds would be completely exposed. And I couldn't bear to imagine how he would look at me. He would definitely push me away fiercely, just like earlier. After my family's decline, I had already lost all my relatives. If he divorces me too, I will have nothing left here. Originally, I planned to accept my best friend's invitation and return to my hometown with her, a place far away from Kevin. But because Kevin lost his memory, I kept declining. My best friend couldn't wait any longer and said to me, "I will only wait for you for 1 more month. If you don't come with me, I won't wait for you anymore." After thinking for a long time, I replied to her with 4 words. "I will go with you. The day when Kevin fully recovers his memory, I will leave him. I don't want to see him looking at me with hatred in his eyes anymore. And I don't want to beg him to look at me with pity. If Kevin is destined not to love me, I won't force it. We have 1 month left together." Today, Kevin came back home with a happy face. He said, "Honey, I've remembered a lot of things again. But why is it that I can never remember anything about you?" "Because you met me relatively late. Give it a little more time, and you'll be able to remember." I comforted him. "True." He smiled and pulled me into his arms. "I'm going to attend a banquet next week. They say that's where we first met. Come with me, maybe I'll recover our memories there." I reluctantly smiled and nodded. Since Kevin met me at that banquet 3 years ago, he hasn't been back there again. I know why Secretary Tracy arranged it this way. It's nothing more than to make Kevin remember how I used to treat him. Once I forced him, now I'm deceiving him. I'm truly not worthy to be with Kevin. No wonder even after 3 years of marriage, Kevin still doesn't think highly of me. "Do you have all your clothes out? Are you selecting a dress to wear to the banquet in advance?" He asked me with a smile. I neatly folded the clothes in my hands and said, "I have too many clothes. I'm sorting out some old ones and sending them to those in need. He lovingly wrapped his arm around my shoulder and gently kissed me on the cheek. All right, then I'll buy you new ones. I should be happy, but as I think about leaving him next week, my heart is filled with bitterness. Kevin Trainer, I truly love you. He paused for a moment and asked, "Why are you suddenly saying this? Did something happen?" I shook my head slightly. Nothing happened, nothing will happen. Everything is just returning to normal. He kissed my hair and said, "No matter what happens, I'll be there. But I'm going to a place where he won't be." I tidied up everything in the house. All my belongings were packed away. Things to throw away were thrown away, and things to take with me were sent out in advance. I filled Kevin's wardrobe with clothes. Now that I won't be here, he can live here peacefully without having to avoid me and not come home. I labeled the food in the refrigerator with dates. Finally, I placed the divorce agreement on his bedside table and left with my suitcase. Tonight, he will go to the place where we first met and then remember everything between us. He will discover that he used to hate me, and I was deceiving him, making him care for the person he hated the most. But by the time he realizes everything, I will already be gone. Even if he wants revenge, he won't be able to find me. Kevin Trainer, I'm sorry. On the first day back to my hometown, I received a message from Secretary Tracy. Kevin regained his memory. I glanced at it and immediately canceled that card. That couldn't be better. The house in my hometown was rented out to my best friend a long time ago. She is a food blogger and encountered a bottleneck, so she thought about renovating my old house. Unexpectedly, this series attracted many fans. So she invited me to join. Renovating the house in my hometown was a lot of work, and I worked with my best friend every day. Her videos also became more and more popular. Our income also improved. I thought that life would continue to be peaceful like this. When the house was renovated, we would live a retirement-like life here, and even die here. But the peaceful life was still shattered. The day I opened the door, I saw a black car parked at the gate of the yard. No one in this small mountain village would drive such an expensive car. I instinctively closed the door. But my best friend opened it wide, holding a camera and loudly saying, "A new day has begun, let's." She froze when she saw the man getting out of the car and forgot her lines. "Quick, close the door," I urged her. But it was too late. Secretary Tracy was the first to block the door with his hands and feet. Kevin, with a frosty face, stood at the door, blocking most of the light. The moment I saw him, I couldn't move my feet. He has fully regained his memory now, right? He should remember what I did to him before. So, is he here for revenge now? It seems that I can't avoid it. I stood still, ready to face his storm. However, he said, "Why did you leave without saying anything?" His voice was calm, and his tone even carried a hint of grievance. I was surprised. This didn't sound like something you would say, so I asked, Haven't you already regained your memory? Just because of this, you left?" He asked. I lowered my head and said, "What else could I do? You regained your memory, and you would know that I had been lying to you all the time when you lost your memory. You already hated me. Even if I didn't leave on my own, you would have divorced me and kicked me out." "I want to divorce you?" He seemed to be angered by my words, and his emotions became a little agitated. My best friend quickly stood in front of me, but Secretary Tracy pulled her away. "It's good that they left. The matter between me and Kevin should be clarified by the two of us alone. Clarify and explain clearly, and then we can go our separate ways. I will no longer have to feel guilty towards him." "Yes." I raised my head and looked directly into his eyes. "I have already signed the divorce agreement. It's on the bedside table in your room." "Who said I want to divorce you?" "On the day when 3 years were up, didn't you invite me to the court for a divorce? We agreed back then that if you still didn't like me after 3 years, we would get a divorce." "I didn't want to divorce you that day." Kevin interrupted me. "I lost my marriage certificate and needed to get a new one, so I invited you to come out for a new photo." He didn't want to divorce me that day? I looked at him in disbelief and then thought of something and asked. Then what about the ring in your cabinet? Wasn't it bought for your first love? Wasn't it waiting for our divorce so that you could propose to her? I don't know what you mean by first love, but that ring was bought for you. Kevin sighed softly. Originally, I wanted to give it to you on our wedding anniversary, but I had a car accident and forgot everything. So Secretary Tracy was right? The ring was for me, not for him to prepare for marriage with someone else. But why? I asked him. Why didn't you divorce me? It's been 3 years, and I'm no longer of any use to you. Yet you still gave me a ring. Why did you do that? Because I want to continue our marital relationship, he replied. But don't you hate me? I couldn't believe it. Kevin, with his pair of dark eyes, looked at me calmly. I have never hated you, he said. What? How could he say such words? I shook my head. How can you not hate me? I forced you to marry me, I deceived you. I married you willingly, he said. If I didn't want to marry someone, no one could force me to. Then why were you always so cold to me after we got married? Because I needed time to become worthy of you. And you, back then, he avoided my gaze for a moment, as if reluctant to say the next words. You were too spoiled and willful. I stared at him in disbelief. The Kevin in front of me was completely different from the one I remembered. How could he possibly care for me? Only the amnesiac Kevin would treat me well. I leaned in and asked him softly. Have you really regained your memory? He instantly became serious and sincere. Of course, I have completely remembered everything. I came here today to make it clear to you and take you back home. Do you love me then? I looked up at him, both hopeful and afraid of his answer. If he was only here out of responsibility, then there was no need for it. A loveless marriage was not worth it. I would rather live alone. Of course, I love you. If I didn't, why would I come looking for you? He reached out and wiped away the tears on my face with his fingertips. I want to continue being with you, just like how we were when I had amnesia. When you said you loved me that day, I was so happy. I love you too. Ugh. Why? Clearly, his words were what I loved to hear and what I had been waiting for 3 years. Why did I suddenly feel disgusted for no reason? And the feeling of disgust was growing stronger. No, I couldn't be so rude in front of him. I turned around and rushed into the restroom. Kevin nervously followed, watching me retching at the sink. He patted my back and anxiously asked, Are you okay? Feeling better? After retching for a while, I finally felt a little better. Did what I say make you feel disgusted? He seemed disappointed. I'm sorry, I came too hastily and wasn't prepared. I wanted to say it wasn't like that, but all I could do was retch. When I found out you had left, I panicked. I felt like I was going to lose you. So no matter what, I had to find you. I wanted to tell you that I have liked you for a long time. Maybe it was just wishful thinking on my part, and I didn't consider your feelings. I'm sorry, Aviva Michelle. If you think what I did was too disgusting, I can change. Why was he suddenly saying so much? Did he always have so much to say? My head was spinning from the retching, but thankfully, my mind was clear. Finally feeling a little better, I grabbed his hand. Kevin, how about you take me to the hospital first, ugh. I couldn't take it anymore. He immediately took me to the nearest hospital. And then I received a surprise. I was pregnant. After leaving the hospital, Kevin's first words were, I will take responsibility. I was still in a state of complete confusion. After a while, I finally reacted. I grabbed his collar and questioned him. We always use protection, why did I still get pregnant? His eyes avoided mine, which was very unusual. He looked guilty. You don't mean... I was interrupted by him, and he said seriously. I want to have a child with you. Don't you want this child? I let go of his collar. I had never even thought about having a child. The deepest level I could think of was improving my relationship with Kevin. But having a child with him? How could I dare to even think about it? You really don't want it? He asked in a low voice, his eyes revealing a painful sadness that pierced mine. I softly said, "You and I both know that this is an accident." How could I be at ease with something that came unexpectedly, like Kevin after he lost his memory? "This is not an accident," Kevin said firmly. "I did it on purpose. I wanted you to get pregnant with my child so that you can never leave me." I looked at him in shock. Whether it's the me after losing my memory or the me from before, I've always felt this way. "Kevin Trainer, you're crazy." Suddenly, this man seemed a little frightening to me. He sighed and said, "If only I had realized earlier that I loved you. Whether you want this child or not, I will respect your decision, but I won't divorce you." I remained silent. My heart was in chaos. Suddenly, there was a child, and Kevin suddenly changed like this. I really didn't know what to do, and my mind was a mess. He said again, "I know you don't believe me right now, but I will try to prove it with my actions. I only hope that you can give me a chance to stay by your side. So, will you come back with me this time?" I could never refuse Kevin. So I agreed to him. I returned to that familiar home. After I left, it seemed like Kevin often came back to stay. The house still had the same layout as when he lost his memory. At night, after taking a shower, Kevin climbed onto my bed again. This time, he didn't have amnesia. Why was he still getting on the bed? "Don't you want to sleep in your own room?" I asked him. He habitually rolled over me and said, "Since you've come back, why should I sleep in my own room?" "It's not." Kevin forcefully covered my lips, and while I was surprised, his tongue skillfully slipped in. I was stunned, especially when I realized that the Kevin in front of me had completely regained his memory and was fully awake. While kissing, his hands were not well behaved either. They were restless. After sleeping with him for a few months, I knew his habits well. I couldn't stand that kind of behavior, and it definitely wouldn't be good for the child. So I pushed him away, gasping for air, and anxiously said, "The child." He realized and gently held me again. "Okay, I know. I won't touch you. Can I just hold you?" I didn't say anything, which meant I agreed. "Let's keep this child." He kissed my neck. "I really want a child with you. I will definitely be a good father and love you well." I realized that Kevin had changed a lot, and I was a bit unaccustomed for a moment. I was wrong about everything before. When I lost my memory, you deceived me like that, but I was actually very happy. Those days were probably the happiest in my life. So, I really can't be without you. You were the one who wanted to marry me in the first place. So now, can you give me one more chance? Can we stay married? Honey, I'm begging you. Ah. A macho man acting spoiled, who could resist? I couldn't resist. If he was trying to deceive me with this sweet talk and then abandon me after I fell for it, as a way to get revenge on me, then I was willing to be fooled. I had loved him for so long, it had already become a habit. But Kevin didn't seek revenge on me. Soon, our child was born. And he really became the good father he promised that day. At the same time, he also became a good husband.